Hello everybody, this is Havoc and welcome to Total War Warhammer with my first multiplayer battle. Surreal Beliefs and I, we've been tag teaming some multiplayer battles together, and this is played on a previous version. I wasn't able to get to the commentary before the game updated, so if the results are different from Surreal's, that would be why. But today we are going to play our first battle together. We are going to be playing as the Norscans and the Dwarves. It was an interesting combination. We've got some interesting combos to show off here, but this is the first of many, so be on the lookout for more Warhammer battles. Surreal and I are pretty much looking to do around 2 to 3 battles at least a week, so there will be consistent content. If you have any combinations, any kind of army builds you want us to try out, be sure to leave them in the comment section down below, or do the same thing over on Surreal Beliefs videos, and we will try to accommodate that. So again, we are playing as the Dwarves and the Norscans. We are up against the Vampire Counts and Bretonnia, which again is another interesting combo. Let's get down to our army builds and we will see what we got here. So for once, I get some Grudge throwers. Actually, only one unit of those. My 2 leaders, I have a Rune Lord as well as a Thane. These guys are going to be really good at buffing units, which is basically what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make some holding power, but holding power that will hold even more using my Rune Lord and my Thane. Behind them, or in front of them, I should say, I have 3 sets of Thunders. These guys are going to come in handy pretty soon. I have a unit of Slayers, and which is really comes in handy here in the near future. I've got my Peak Gate Guard Hammerers, which do look really awesome. I love the way these guys look. And some Norgrimling's Iron Breakers. It's 2 regiments of renown and some Dwarf Warriors on the front line. The idea is that the Dwarf Warriors will be able to hold, hopefully long enough. These guys will kind of give them some support. And then I'm going to use my Thane and my Rune Lord to help kind of keep the staying power. And then on both flanks, I have a unit of Miners and then a unit of Miner Blasting Charges. Again, trying to keep these guys on the front line occupied with my Miners so I can then come in behind with the ranged attack with the mining blasting charges. Surreal almost said Wolfric. Surreal over here, he's got a War Mammoth, which is pretty freaking awesome. He has, I believe this is Wolfric the Wonder, he is on a steed. Indeed, so he will be able to move quickly across the field on his front line. He has a couple of Marauders, including the Ice Horn Marauders. We got 3 units of Marauder Spearmen, and then he's bringing in some Marauder Hunters with Javelins. I'm a big fan of the Marauder Hunters with Javelins. I think they're one of the best skirmishing units in the game. And then over here, he has a nice unit of Marauders with great weapons. And he's got a lot of really cool things going on here. So back here, he has a couple of units of Skin Wolves. Now, and he also has a Skin Wolf Werekin. Let me see if I can bring up the unit card here. So the Werekin, I do believe, have just a slightly reduced speed, but they do have some buffs that they are going to be giving these Skin Wolves. Let's see, I can't even select them, can I? Basically, what it does is it gives any of the units around him a buff of, I believe, 18 armor. I think that's what it is. So 18 armor, and then I believe some damage resistance, some missile resistance. So what we like to do, and what you'll probably see multiple times when we play as Norsca, is we will have some Skin Wolves, and then we will have a Skin Wolf Werekin in the mix, simply because it does give really good buffs, especially to the Skin Wolves. And actually, the Skin Wolf Armored have the same speed as the Skin Wolf Werekin, so if you can afford to, that's a really good 1-2 hit combo that would be really good. And then last but not least, he has some Norscan Ice Wolves hiding over here in the forest, looking to potentially take out that artillery. The Bretonnians over here, they start out with a couple of Blessed Field Trebuchets. He doesn't have that many units, but they are all buffed, and that's one thing you'll see here. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think he would have saved some money and possibly fielded some more heavier troops, and that may have turned out a little better. But regardless, he has some Holy Wardens of the Monton style, however you want to say that. Maison style? Maison Teal. Yeah, that weird word. We have some Battle Pilgrims, some 2 sets of Battle Pilgrims. I really do like how the Battle Pilgrims look. He's got 2 units of Peasant Bowmen with fire arrows. He has Alfred de Bordelot on his Pegasus, a couple units of Pole Arms, Men-at-Arms, as well as the Beast Slayers of Bastogne, Foot Squires, Regiment of Renown, and then 2 units, Knights of the Realm and Knights Errant. Defenders of the Fleur-de-Lis, and Knights of the Lionhearted. So he has a lot of regiments of renown, which I'm starting to see in multiplayer more and more since we've been playing. And let's see how well that works for him. The vampire counts, they really don't have all that much. They have a lot of grade guard with great weapons. These are going to be very hardy, heavy melee greatsword infantry units, so that's really interesting. Unit of skeleton spearmen in the back. He's led by Heinrich Kimmler. And then we have some direwolves and 3 units of black knights. Now, I will be pausing and hitting the play button throughout when things get a little too crazy. If you guys want me to do any sort of styles with these things, with my commentary, please let me know in the comment section down below, and I will start to try to accommodate that. But let's go ahead and hit that play button. And so yeah, we are beginning. There we go, our grudge throwers lob the first volley, but the trebuchets are not far behind, lobbing their little magic attack. Already takes out some of my units. My grudge throwers, yeah, they've got a lot of firepower coming at me on that end. So I am going to start losing my grudge throwing ability pretty quick on, but that is all right. Because in the end, he is focusing on my grudge throwers and not on any of my other units, and they are pretty packed in there. So I was surprised that he decided to keep focusing on my grudge thrower and nothing else. Albert de Bourdelot, he's coming in. He's bringing his Knights Errant and Knights of the Realm. And then we've got all these units here on the other side. I realized that, hey, that's a lot of cav coming, so we're going to lob a couple of grudges over at the Black Knights. See if that really does anything. They're bringing up their lines, kind of pretty uniform. We do have the hill, so we do have the advantage, and that is going to help us. Trebuchets are still working it over here. So Surreal and I decided we really have to try and get this guy taken care of. Those 3 units of Black Knights are going to cause a lot more damage than something we could handle. Again, trebuchets are starting to focus on the grudge thrower alone. And I also realized that it's not worth it to try to redirect and constantly try to fire on them. So whatever we have left with our grudge throwers, we're going to start lobbing at the vampire counts. Anyway, so the idea, we're going to try and time with our marauder spearmen and our slayers if we can capture them. Surreal's going to bring in his skin wolves, and then he's also going to start bringing in his Norscan ice wolves coming in from behind. Seeing that I have some time left, I am going to bring my thunders out in front, because they are going to be able to get a few volleys off on these grave guard, considering how slow they move. Again, grudge throwers just getting wrecked. Have to accept it. Nothing I can do about it. And there we go. We've got our thunders coming in. Skin wolves are going to be able to capture these knights, which is going to really help us. Our slayers are built to be able to kind of take on these kinds of units. And the skin wolves themselves, they are going to shred that cav up. I mean, you're going to see right here, they just kind of rip them apart. Like, those Black Knights really have no chance at fighting them off, so they're going to get captured. We brought in our thunders, we brought in our miners with blasting charges as well. See if we can't blow up some things as quickly as possible. Surreal has brought in his ice wolves. This is going to take out those Knights Errant and Knights of the Realm. He's going to try and get in the trebuchets, see if that helps. And our lines are finally going to clash. He's bringing in his great sword infantry, and my dwarf warriors, they will hold the line, won't you? Hold it. Our entire line is starting to get engaged. And as you can see, our slayers are coming in along with the skin wolves, trying to take out as much of the Black Knights as we can. They are trying to push into my miners, which is going to hurt quite a bit, but there's really not a whole lot they can do. Over here on the other side, we are lobbing a whole bunch of blasting charges at the enemy, and Surreal is finally starting to engage his own troops. Overall, we're holding the line quite well. The Ice Wolves, they did their job. They are getting wrecked by Albert de Bourdelot as well as both of those knights. They're moving the trebuchets up as well. Thunders are firing, blasting charges are finally getting in there, accepting that there will be some friendly fire. Here come the Marauders. They are absolutely deadly. I cannot emphasize enough how amazing these guys are. So they're going to start taking on those foot squires. The War Mammoth over here, he is taking on the other unit of foot squires. Don't know how well he's going to do. Let's go ahead and get back into the mode there. He's taking them on pretty well. We are wrecking this Grave Guard. Their entire front line is starting to just completely diminish. He did bring up some zombies, Heinrich Himmler did. So we're going to get into melee there. Heinrich Himmler is still over there. As you can see, units are starting to melt over here. Our Slayers are doing a good job of holding the line. He's bringing out these Skin Wolves. Surreal broke them off because he does want to try and capture these Knights before they can cause any more damage than what they're causing right now. The Yeomen, or the Bowmen, with fire arrows, they are starting to cause a little bit of damage. Quite a bit, actually, to the War Mammoth. Brought in another unit of zombies, so we have 2 units of zombies in our back line. But Heinrich Himmler is starting to get into melee a little bit. He's kind of getting forced into that. Those Slayers, they will fight to the death, and they are holding those Black Knights quite swimmingly well. And then the Skin Wolves, as you can see, they are going to definitely shred apart some of these cab. Now, these have been buffed since then. I think they cost a little more, and they did some slight debuffing in the stats to the Skin Wolves. So it's definitely not as easy of a fight as it used to be. Regardless, we've got Heinrich Himmler in here. Looks like we got a few more zombies. We do have the lead. We outnumber the enemy by a solid 400. Those battle pilgrims are not rocking it so much. And we're finally starting to engage their line coming out above it. So the Beast Slayers of Bastogne, I'm going to say they're going to be able to take on a Beast. A War Mammoth pretty stinking well, but I don't know. And it is very tired. He's got Wulfric the Wanderer as well, who just got wrecked by Knights of the Lion Hearted. We pretty much have the advantage. There are a couple of ways that we could get wrecked, but I don't really see it happening anytime soon. Now, I do not recall Krell being in here. It doesn't mean it didn't happen, but as I mentioned, things could happen since the update. Regardless, he is swarmed by some Thunders, by some my Dwarf Warriors, as well as I do believe my Rune Lord. Surreal Spearmen are hitting those Black Knights. Those Skin Wolves, they are going to cause a little bit of damage if they're not just going to sit there. The War Mammoth is starting to come in. We've got guys engaged all along the line here. There we go. Heinrich Himmler's almost dead. As soon as he dies, everything's going to start kind of dissolving. As you can see, it's starting to break right now. The enemy lord is dead, which means Krell is going to be shortly behind him. Those zombies, as you can see, everything on the zombies on the vampire count side, it's starting to disintegrate. And that'll leave both of our armies to fight the Bretonnians, which are pretty much getting wrecked. Those peasant bowmen with fire arrows are causing quite a bit of damage. The War Mammoth has routed. I'm bringing in my Thunders as fast as I can to start kind of trying to flank. We got some skeleton spearmen that are still holding on. Those Black Knights are still there. But for the most part, we do have that flank secured. Skin Wolves are being used to take on the Trebuchets, and they are absolutely mauling them. The Knights of the Lion-Hearted, not doing so terribly well. We got Albrecht de Bordelot. Starting to shoot him up with my Thunders. Trying as best as we can to kill him off. Wulfric, though, or no, that's our Skin Wolf Werekin. There we go. He is starting to run off. But it ain't but a thing. Ain't but a thing. Albrecht de Bordelot is starting to try and take off. I think he's going to start going after the War Mammoth. The War Mammoth just absolutely decimating those Trebuchets. They don't really stand a chance. Look at that. And a Pyrrhic victory. Alright, guys, let's end that replay. Alright, so it looks like we both lost just about half of our armies, but we definitely secured the victory against Oodly Doodly, and that feels when General Brundagen. Overall, we did pretty stinking well. Grudge Thrower didn't get that many. Our main troops here, those Thunders, the Slayers did cause some havoc on those Black Knights, and then, of course, my Peak Gate Guard and my Norgrimling's Iron Breakers definitely were able to do some damage. Not a whole lot of damage on those blasting charges, but that's nothing too serious. Wulfric the Wonder, 110 kills. The Mammoth, I don't really think got all that much, did it? 68, which really isn't that bad, but those Skin Wolves, man, they did cause quite a bit of damage, as well as the Marauders with great weapons, and the Iceborne Marauders. Now, the biggest thing over here, if they would have supported each other a little more, I feel that we probably could have been a little worse off if he would have brought his archers forward a little bit to take on Norsca, or if this guy would have not clumped all of his Black Knights together. Because you could see here, 0, 14, 25 kills between 3 units of Black Knights at an XP rank of 3. That's a pretty expensive unit that didn't really do anything. Overall, still a really, really good battle. I really enjoyed it. Again, if there's anything you guys want me to do differently, just let me know in the comment section down below. We can start to work it out. I will be recording the 3 battles that occurred before the update. I will record all at once, so if there's any critiques you have, it will take place in the 4th battle, which we have in the new update. But if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Follow me on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. This is Havoc, and I'm out of here. Peace.